after that loss. And Houston coming off their first win in Big 12 play in quite a while. So two teams trying to figure out how to play through some things as the tap is won back by Houston, but never touched, and TCU will start with the basketball.
I think they wanted to just do it a third time, hit it out of bounds, but again, TCU starting with the possession here.
TCU not having Maddie Shear in the lineup. She did play last time out against Texas Tech after missing 3 games with a back ailment. She'll miss today's game as well, and so Taylor Bigby is in the starting lineup with the basketball out front against Kendall Hunter, who just had that outstanding game last time out against Cincinnati. Clara Silva knows that she has got to be big in February and takes it right to the rack for her first 2.
Again, when Clara Silva is aggressive and decisive, she makes really good decisions, getting a steal right there, attacking the basket again. Having a 6'7" be able to do that. Didn't finish it, but again, just the ability to get out in transition is one that TCU really needs.
Well, Silva showing her skill set and maybe a little bit of a grin, but the ability to put the ball on the ground early is one that really plays into the Horned Frogs' favor in this one. Jordan Ross getting the start at a forward spot, but miscommunicating with TK Pitts. Ross moving into the starting lineup, the transfer from Arizona for head coach Matthew Mitchell in his first season as the head coach at Houston, but such a familiar name to college basketball fans thanks to his 13 seasons at Kentucky. Olivia Miles, one of the best players in the nation, tearing around the corner and leaving it short, intended for Suarez. First giveaway on TCU as Miles says, yeah, next time I'll just take it to the cup.
And the first couple possessions for Houston have been turnovers. That's kind of their Achilles heel. They average about 19.5 per game.
All the way to the rack, Amira Abdur-Rahim able to lay it in. She's played at Notre Dame, SMU, Texas A&M, and now at Houston to wrap up her career. Part of that Abdur-Rahim family. Great look to Bigby as Hunter feeds her. Bigby, who's 46% from outside at home, misses, and TK Pitts pulls down the rebound.
46%, that means she's going to make the next one, I think.
Now, a part of a TCU team that is very good from outside the arc at home, 40%. They're coming off a substandard game at Texas Tech. Did a lot of the things that you need to do to win a basketball game at Tech, including holding Tech to only 32% shooting as Peguero knocks down a long 2 from just in front of the TCU bench.
And so when we talked to Coach Mitchell, he said, you know, because of the size difference that TCU has on the inside, they have to be really great from that mid-range and that 3 area. So it's good that they're getting some production early.
Oh, what a dangerous pass, but a great one at that by Bigby, feeding it into Miles to the cup.
Again, TCU shares the ball really well, about 18.5 per game. So, again, they just really know how to find each other.
And that's a carry against Peguero, the 3rd turnover against Houston. And for the Cougars, Matthew Mitchell knows that's one of the bugaboos for his team, the turnovers, as you mentioned, rebounding as well. For TCU, they didn't feel like they rebounded it too well on the road against Texas Tech. Got out-rebounded by 12 and gave up 15 offensive boards.
And that's, you know, just a hustle thing. That's an effort thing. And so what we're going to see for the first time from Mark Campbell, he's going to be sending 4 to the boards. So you're going to see all 4 go and try to attack the glass and put pressure on the offensive glass. And we're just not used to that for him.
See how that plays out for this TCU team. Nice feed inside. Suarez misses the first, grabs her own miss, twirls inside, and can't hit the second one against Jordan Ross. Bunnies inside for TCU.
Yeah, that was 3 missed so far, and, you know, those little bit of points really make a difference in February.
Ross going underneath and able to finish the reverse against Clara Silva. Nice finish by the 6'3" Jordan Ross from Milwaukee.
And she's able to put the ball on the ground, kind of that dynamic post player as well.
And Houston retakes the early lead. TCU doesn't trail much at home. Olivia Miles. And right there in the passing lane, Kendall Hunter takes it away. Miles' second giveaway. Hunter stopping in transition, but unable to knock it down.
TCU's got to settle in here, get a high percentage shot through their offense.
Silva wants it early. Nice job to rip around Ross and lay it in.
And just taking advantage of that size, the size difference there in the post.
Clara Silva averaging 10 points, 8 rebounds a game this season, but shooting 68% at home. Another one of these TCU players that plays really well at Schollmeyer Arena. Ross knocks down the mid-range jumper. Again, that is the prescription that Matthew Mitchell has given his team to hang around against TCU.
Yeah, Ross shoots it pretty well, about 40% from per game.
Bigby doesn't make her second, but it goes right to Olivia Miles, and Miles lays it home off the offensive rebound.
Again, you see just that crashing the boards has been a point of emphasis, especially after that Tech game, getting TCU 2 more points.
Olivia Miles, a great rebounder anyway. 9th in the conference, 7 rebounds a game. Just behind her is TK Pitts, who misses her first jumper. No look into Silva, all the way to the rack. Olivia Miles feeds it to Clara Silva, who has started out with 6 quick points.
And they have such a relationship that they're always looking for one another. You know, just such a big presence in the paint is Silva.
Kendall Hunter and the weave handoff to Pitts. Tries to get it inside to Ross, but that bounce pass a little bit inaccurate. And for Houston, it's another early giveaway, number 5.
See right there, just the no look. But that doesn't happen if Silva doesn't get out and run. So you know that extra effort of getting down the floor is really what opens up the floor.
After some good work, Clara Silva sits down with her 6 points on 3 of 4 shooting. Clara Bielefeld is on for the first time to play a guard spot, along with Sheffy and Basham on the inside, as TCU makes 3 subs. And the giveaway by the Horned Frogs will take us to our first timeout. Not even start for both sides, but TCU swinging in front of visiting Houston midway through the first quarter. Number 14, TCU by 2. Campbell, the head coach of the Horned Frogs, he's really proud of this 38-game home winning streak. And whenever you talk to him about it, he just beams. He loves the way that the Schollmeyer Arena has turned into such a big advantage for his team. And it's the first ever matchup between he and Matthew Mitchell, and he gives a lot of respect to Coach Mitchell for what he was able to do at Kentucky over the years.
Yeah, it's, you know, really respected, like you said, knows the journey of what Coach Mitchell has had to come back to, you know, in college athletics, and, you know, just excited for his success.
Hits with a mid-range miss. Comes Olivia Miles for TCU. Miles with 4 triple-doubles this season to lead all players in the NCAA, Division I, II, or III, men or women this year. Donovan Hunter gets it out to Bielefeld in the corner. Drives, kicks out with a one-handed pass to Miles, who singes the strings from the wing.
Again, Bielefeld has knocked down a couple of threes as of late, so she's going to have to be respected from there. That's what opened up the drive and the assist.
Olivia Miles knocking down her 39th 3 this season. She shoots 40%, though, from the 3 at home this year. Coming off the bench, Kira Merchant on for the first time. The third-year junior from Westfield High School in Houston. This one gets knocked away to the baseline. A save back inbounds to Kayla King, the freshman who is fouled out front by Sheffy.
And we see that right here, Miles 3. The defense was collapsed and left her wide open, but Kiara Merchant has come in. I was going to say she provides a spark, was able to come in, get a steal, a little bit out of control, but again, her team retains possession.
Now, Merchant definitely an energy player for Matthew Mitchell. He's been toying with his lineup, trying to figure out who the best 5 are to start. And Merchant playing a huge role on this team, even coming off the bench. Pitts this time leaning into the lane and hitting it over the shot blocker Basham. TK Pitts, the transfer from SMU, is on the board.
And Houston doing a really good job of playing through contact. TCU isn't fouling, but their presence is definitely there.
This one through traffic. Barely gets out to Sheffy. Suarez, who's back on the floor, down to tie it up. And the jump ball favors Houston with 3:24 to play in the opening quarter.
Again, TCU has to do a little bit better job of taking care of the ball. They've been a little loose with it. as of early. They did a really good job against Texas Tech of taking care of the ball. Only 11 turnovers in that game, so they've got to have that translate to today.
Trying to work out those early kinks on a Wednesday night. Mir Abdur-Rahim has been playing more the 4 spot for Houston here lately. Nice job by Merchant to split defenders. Her leaner doesn't fall, and Basham attacks the rebound for TCU.
And TCU trying to get out here in early offense, get down the floor. Houston's a defensive team. Not able to cut off Miles there, though.
Olivia Miles is owning this game early with 9 in the opening quarter.
We were here before pregame, and I saw her write down triple-double. I said, I saw you write it down. Now you got to go out and do it.
Well, all 4, or 3 of her 4 triple-doubles, I should say, have come here at home.
And it's just a wide open lane. There's nothing, you know, you can get it easier than that.
She's almost at the points threshold. 2 rebounds, 1 assist so far for Olivia Miles. She has turned it over 4 times, though, uncharacteristically. Hard leaner by Merchant doesn't fall, but Amir Abdur-Rahim has good post position. Misses the bunny inside, though, and Suarez comes out with it. Here comes TCU. Veronica Sheffy, who can get to the rack, finishes through contact.
And I love when Sheffy gets her head down, going to her strong left-hand side. She's able to finish through contact there. It's really been a spark for TCU and really trying to put pressure on the rim.
Yeah, one of the best players for TCU to put pressure on the rim. Nearly all the points so far for TCU have come getting to the basket, except for that 3-pointer by Olivia Miles. Abdur-Rahim cranks the 3 right back at her, but TK Pitts is there for the offensive rebound. The former SMU teammates combine. Off the jump stop, Pitts leaves it short. Rebound tip to Suarez, who had a double-double last time out against Texas Tech, her 6th of the season. Miles dashes and is fouled, headed to the cup by Kayla King.
And Miles is so hard to defend because she has on her assist goggles at all times. So you don't know if she's going to shoot it or if she's going to find her teammate. But that's what makes her the type of player that she is, because she keeps the defenses on their toes.
What does it say to you that she's a pass-first point guard, yet leading the team in scoring at 19 points a game, and she's led the team in scoring each of the last 9 games?
I think, you know, when she just really sets her mind to it, I think this year more than in her past career, she's looked for her shot, but also because she knows that's what her team needs. Her team needs her to come out and be productive on the offensive end as well. Her
scoring's increased each of her years in college basketball. 13.7 to 14.3 to 15.6, and now 19 points a game in her 5th year in college basketball. 4th on the floor. Obviously missed the year with the ACL. Abdur-Rahim travels, and another giveaway against Houston. It's turnover number 5.
And I mean, we talk about Miles a lot, and, you know, coming here for her last year after she had a lot of success at Notre Dame. But like you said, having a career year here before she goes to the next level.
And she's leading the Big 12 in minutes played at 35 minutes a game. 3rd in the league in double-doubles with 7. What a pass out to Bigby in the corner. Her spot up doesn't fall, but Suarez is there for the offensive rebound for TCU.
Again, and that's what TCU is wanting to get, a couple of extra possessions.
Skip out to Donovan Hunter. Silva's been working hard inside the post, and she's bumped and fouled from behind by Amani Bartlett, who transferred in from LSU, where she won a national championship under Kim Mulkey in 2023.
And you can see that TCU's really made it a point to try to get the ball into Silva, have her take advantage of the mismatch inside.
Fouls to give for both sides. It's only the 2nd foul on Houston. Suarez in the post. Quick move against the freshman, and King blocks the shot away emphatically.
And beautiful defensive play there by Rahim. She's able to use her length against the stronger Marta Suarez.
Abdur-Rahim coming in with 22 blocks on the season. Now here is King pulling up and missing off the glass. TCU opening up this 7-point advantage with a 6-0 run. Again, Silva wants it. She's got 6 early points. Moving to her right hand, but missing off the glass.
And Houston's trying to bring that backside help early to really throw TCU off. But again, Silva's trying to still work in there. Just got to finish those bunnies.
TCU still shooting 50% as a team in the opening quarter. Having won 38 consecutive games at home, a run that started against Houston 2 seasons ago. Nice move by Merchant, and she drops it through right at the end of the quarter. Kiera Merchant, who averages 9.4 points per game, one of the team leaders on the board for the first time, as be able to win that one by 2. Back for the second quarter of action. Olivia Miles already has 11, feeds it inside to Marta Suarez, who gives an up and under move and is able to finish past Jay Jones.
And she's been able to get that shot, but she finished it like you said. She loves her counter moves, so have to continue to take advantage.
Suarez coming off the 15 points, 12 rebounds last time out. Giveaway, and here comes Olivia Miles, always dangerous in space. Good job by Houston to get back defensively. Silva underneath. She is doubled, able to keep from traveling. Feeds Bigby for 3. No, but Silva crashes the boards, trying to go right back up. Feeds it back for a leaner, and it goes down for Bigby. Taylor Bigby able to hit off the assist by Silva.
Again, I like how Silva was able to stay composed. She had a lot of bodies around her. And then Taylor Bigby, when you see that cutting to the basket.
Now TCU, when spanning the quarters, they're on a 10-2 run right now. Nice little take inside by Kiera Merchant, giving a little body to Olivia Miles on her way to the basket.
Yeah, Merchant doesn't mind contact. Like you're saying, she kind of initiated that off of Miles.
Suarez taking it to the cup. A lot of points in the paint so far for TCU. TCU continues to get things done in the paint, outscoring Houston 20-10 already inside the painted area.
And I think it's just a point of emphasis, you know, just take the advantages that you have against your opponent.
Yeah, though TCU is only 1 of 5 from outside, it has not mattered after that 9-point lead. Again, back to Merchant, knocked away by Hunter, has it back with 2 to shoot, forced to take a 3, and Suarez comes out with a rebound up after the miss. Suarez, nobody stops her. To the rim with the left hand. Timeout called as TCU takes an 11-point lead.
And you've got a 6'3" forward who can take it coast to coast, getting you 2 more points on the board. I take Marta Suarez every time.
Marta Suarez has 6 of the Hall of Fame here at TCU. Number 14, TCU up on Houston, 27-16. Back with Jada Curtis, I'm John Little. And the TCU starters, including Olivia Miles, have scored 25 of the 27 tonight for TCU. But what else is new? The starting 5 normally very productive for the Horned Frogs.
Yeah, this is good company to be in. South Carolina, Oklahoma, UCLA, and Notre Dame. So TCU does a really good job of scoring the ball with their starting 5. It's led by Miles and Suarez.
Yeah, a couple of things there. They're a high-scoring team, and then they've got some powerful players in the starting lineup. But then this is also the deepest team that Mark Campbell's ever had here. So, there's even more firepower coming off the bench if you need them.
And I think that's what he's really intentional about building a roster, is so that he could have that depth and hang with those type of teams.
Oh, the incredibly smart Donovan Hunter in the passing lane and all the way to the rim for 2.
And Donovan Hunter, she's like the heart of the TCU defense. Again, good for her to get success.
Truly the backbone of this team, kind of taking over for Agnes Emanopu in that spot, says Mark Campbell. Step back, deep 2. Off the glass and off the top of the backboard for Kendall Hunter. And TCU is owning the glass, by the way. They're a +6. Olivia Miles, nobody can stay with her today. Extra pass to Hunter, wide open 3, and Hunter has 5 straight.
Such good there for Hunter to get that 3. She's really increased her production in this season, and Taylor Bigby has missed a couple again, so that hockey assist there from Miles.
9-0 run now for TCU to really take control. Stepping in, Kayla King given the continuation, but again, another miss. TCU all over the glass. They have been all game. Olivia Miles doing it herself, flanking it up from the hip and somehow over the top of the rim and in.
Somehow is right. I didn't know where she was going with that. Just, she is so crafty when she gets in the lane.
It is so tough for a player her height to hit a layup from straight on like that. That is big time. Bang Direct home three by Amir Abdur-Rahim. That is a run settler that the Cougars really needed.
They really do, and she's worked really hard on her extending her range. When Coach Mitchell talked to us, he was saying that she's in the gym early and late, just really trying to get that three down.
Speaking of getting the three down, Marta Suarez is back from beyond the arc. She had a quiet few weeks, but certainly starting to pull it around again.
And I'm happy for her because she's always in here working. When we come into the gym hours before the game, she's getting shots up. And so to see that translate in the games, like as of late, has been great.
You see the game trend. Houston starting hot, but since then fading a bit, as so many teams do against the length of TCU. They lead the nation in opponent field goal percentage. Finally, Houston, a team that gets almost 21% of their points from the free throw line, will go there for the first time as Kendall Hunter is fouled by Clara Silva.
And they're face guarding Kendall Hunter. She's their leading scorer, and so she hasn't really been able to get a lot of looks. That was only her third attempt of the game thus far, and so it's been really tough for her getting herself to the free throw line.
And especially considering that her confidence is at probably an all-time high after her game-winning three last time out against Cincinnati, and it wasn't just that moment. She's played so well over the last three.
Yeah, averaging, over 20 points per game, 4 rebounds. And so just wanting to come out here and continue that, but TCU is definitely making it difficult.
Hunter, former top 30 player in the nation by ESPN and a McDonald's All-American back in 2021. She goes 1 of 2 that trip. TCU has hit their last 7 field goals. Miles, nobody stays with her, and I don't know how you do that. Olivia Miles shrugs the shoulder and lays it in, and then Donovan Hunter takes it away. Miles to Sheffy, extra pass. Hunter going baseline, but a stoppage, and the officials call it out of bounds for Donovan Hunter. Hunter was wondering if she traveled or what happened there.
Again, look at the little crossover there, just so Hunter couldn't get her hands on the ball and get a deflection. And such a high IQ player is Olivia Miles.
TK Pitts, slow start in this one, blocked by Basham, but always a hard-working player, goes after her own miss. Peguero back in, as is Hunter. The starting lineup. Deep three by Hunter. Too strong, and TCU's Donovan Hunter pulls down the rebound through contact by Ross. Again, TCU has hit their last 8 from the field. Handoff to Miles, turned away by TK Pitts, who has an eye for thievery.
Yeah, TK Pitts, she's so defensive-minded. You'll see that she has the matchup with Olivia, and she's taking that, on the chest.
She's got the length on Miles for sure. Bielefeld into Basham. Good job to come in from behind by Peguero and knock it off of Basham. Unless TCU wants to appeal, it goes over to Houston.
I think they're just going to go ahead and get back on the defensive end. You'll see right there. Yeah, they got Basham with that left hand, I believe.
Yep, it's a good call. Unless it deflected again off of Peguero on the way out, which it was tough to see. Looked like it did get touched last by Basham. So TCU nearly doubling up Houston in their first of 2 matchups over the next few weeks. Pull-up shot doesn't go down for Hunter. And TCU continues to do work on the boards. They're a +10 now.
And I think that Coach Campbell will be happy thus far because that's definitely been a point of emphasis for them.
Bielefeld inside. Bigby turned away. Leaves it back for Suarez. Wide open look. Langs it off. And on the rebound, Bielefeld called for going over the back, but she had the height advantage over Pitts.
And Houston's working hard. Suarez was able to find a wide open 3, not knocking that one down, but again, Bielefeld on the offensive glass, just reaching around, and credit Houston for having some box outs.
The second foul on Clara Bielefeld. Second team foul on TCU. Not many fouls called in this one either way. Brianna Peguero, transfer from Troy. The Houston native herself coming home to play her final year. Peguero dancing into a jumper but misses. And Sheffy there for the defensive board. Sheffy playing a bigger and bigger role as this season's gone on. Bigby has it knocked away by Peguero.
And TCU's really trying to get out in transition before Houston gets set, but Houston is doing a really good job of getting back on the defensive end.
Still, TCU has been plenty efficient offensively. 63% from the field in this game, and even better from inside the arc for TCU.
And I really like their shot selection. You know, they're getting really high quality shots, wide open shots, not really forcing anything.
Sheffy taking the extra step, so wipe off that, well, actually called for the offensive foul on a push-off. So Sheffy picks up her second foul, and team foul number 3 on TCU.
I didn't necessarily see the push-off. I did see the double step there, the travel.
I thought it might be a little crow hop travel there. But TCU as a team shooting 74% from inside the arc in this one. They've been very efficient today. Sheffy nearly had a steal, but Bartlett able to retain possession. 5 to shoot. Peguero stepping into a mid-range jumper. Long rebound, and Bigby tracks it down on the hustle play for TCU and looks for more. Bigby with a nose for the rim.
Just getting out, getting in some offense, getting them set and settled.
Suarez has a mouse in the house. Will they give her continuation? Yes, they do. An and one for Marta Suarez. She plays right through the contact of the 5'7" Peguero.
See, and I like when plays, you know, continue like that. Instead of stopping when the whistle stops, you don't know if they're going to let you continue or that. So continue through the play, finish it, get 2 points on the board, and get yourself to the free throw line.
So the first quarter belonged to Olivia Miles. She had 11 points. Second quarter belonging to Marta Suarez. She has all 11 of her points in this quarter. She might have a double-double before the break. 12 points for Marta Suarez. She's back to her old scoring ways. The most dynamic scoring duo in the league is Olivia Miles and Marta Suarez. They've combined for 25 of the 42.
And they're the highest scoring duo in the Big 12. Like you said, in games, they usually average about 35 together.
Well on their way yet again. Offensive rebound and the twist back inside. Merchant with the second chance opportunity to give her 6. And right back up the floor, Bigby able to attack the glass. And TCU going to the line off the foul on Houston's Anyumale.
I think before I could even turn my head, TCU or Olivia Miles had the ball up the floor to Taylor Bigby. Again, good job of really just getting out in transition, running the floor, and putting pressure on Houston's defense to get back and get back quickly.
Bigby, 70% foul shooter this season, stepping into the starting lineup for the 4th straight game after, or rather 5th straight game, I should say, after Maddie Shear went down with that back injury. And Bigby makes good on both. TCU doubling up Houston again. 64% from the field, 37% from 3, and 100% at the line for TCU. In and out as Kiara Merchant had one nearly go down for the Cougars. Stopping in transition, Bigby looking for that first triple of the game. She's 0 for 5, a rarity for her at home. Peguero right back up the floor, hanging and foul.
And Peguero does a really good job. She's so crafty. She thrives in transition and pushing pace. So her just getting up the floor quickly is what she's known for. But like you said, Houston likes to get to the free throw line.
Olivia Miles whistled for her first foul of the night. And Brianna Peguero, who helped Troy to the WNIT runner-up spot last season, also played at Mercer and Trinity Valley Community College here in North Texas. Hits the first of 2.
And Houston really thrives in transition, but with TCU shooting 62%, the opportunities have been few and far between.
It's a great point. They're a team that has to use their athleticism to their advantage, but TCU's on top of their game, very aware of that today. Suarez has the matchup she wants, leans to the inside, but misses the shot short. Shot clock is off at the end of the half. And Merchant carries it forward and is able to get it off to Enyemele. Now Pitts will hold it with Houston down by 20.
Coach Mitchell's yelling one shot. I think Houston was wanting to go quickly, but not realizing the time.
Good defense by Suarez, but that is not a foul that TCU had to give. And Pitts heads to the line as the Bluebirds rain down at Schollmeyer Arena. First on Suarez.
That can go either way. That can go either way. Coach Campbell getting an explanation. I did see the contact. In real time, I didn't think it was a foul. On the replay, I could see what she meant. But, you know, time and score, I think, just let that one go.
Pitts 9.7 rebounds a game this season. A player that's become more offensively minded. It's going to be a lane violation against Suarez, who stepped in a little too soon, so Pitts gets another shot. Suarez hungry for that 8th rebound of the game. Right at the end of the half, Miles unable to get up the hook shot quite in time. And at the half, the TCU Horned Frogs dominate. Houston eventually goes on to lose, and they had to wait a couple more weeks for that first Big 12 win, and maybe it made it all the more sweet to finally pick it up when that three-pointer dropped through from Kendall Hunter on Sunday.
Yeah, you always love to see your hard work really translate in games, and you know, because you know everything that you put in, you know everything that you sacrifice, and so, and it's year one of a rebuild here at Houston, and just really just trying to get back to the winning ways.
And they've made it Houston-centric as well. 6 different players on this team are from the Houston area. 2 of the coaches are from the Houston area as well, and Matthew Mitchell knows how big it is to embrace the culture of Houston in rebuilding this program. Brianna Peguero starts out the second half, going 1 of 2 at the line. Suarez takes a 25-foot three and ring it up. Marta Suarez is in her bag, and that one may have been shot from Barcelona.
But again, it's in rhythm. It's within their offense. You know, Donovan Hunter drove, got 2 feet in the paint, dropped the defense, and that's what opened up Marta Suarez. So if you're wide open, why not take it?
15 for Suarez, and she comes up with the steal on the other end. Long pass ahead to Bigby. Takes it inside the lane. Layup is good, but it's going to be an offensive foul against Bigby. Good job to get back by the Cougars and take the charge.
Yeah, great defense there to getting back. It was a mismatch situation. Those are things that you practice all the time. Just taking advantage.
But falling down is Hunter, and so Miles able to take it away and swing it to the cup for 2.
TCU in this 2-2-1 press. We don't see them pressed very often, but again, just trying to get some time off of the clock. Was able to get a turnover on that one, making it difficult for Houston here, but
Mark Campbell before the game talked about getting 1% better, squeezing that juice out of the melon, so to speak, as much as possible, because those are the margins that are going to matter when you get into the NCAA tournament like this team knows it will. Where can he pick up some points? And maybe that full court press is a place as Miles takes it right to the cup. Silva comes out with a rebound again. Off to Bigby, swings it to the cup. Suarez on the offensive glass, and she's fouled.
And like you said, just about getting better, because, you know, they're heavily scouted at this point. We know what Marta Suarez does. We know what Taylor Bigby does. But it's how can you still get better? How can you really take advantage of what the defense is giving you in February, in March, because they want to continue to play. They want to host NCAA tournament.
Well, they had an opportunity to last season, beating Louisville to make it on to the Sweet 16. Now, Olivia Miles would love to lead her team to a top 16 seed and an opportunity to host again at Schollmeyer Arena, as Hunter on the turnaround is contacted and fouled by Peguero. So Donovan Hunter to the line for 2. Peguero's second foul.
And I like how Hunter started to attack the basket. You know, sometimes she's a pass first point guard as well, but she's slid into that 2 position since Olivia Miles has been here. And so scoring is something that's now a part of her role.
And Hunter, 12 points a game this season, 3rd best on the team. That scoring average has slipped back a little bit since conference play started, but we know she's capable of eruptions because she can be so efficient at 47% shooting. Again, TCU staying with the press. Ross in the middle, trying to make a good decision. Hunter tips it away. TCU on a 6-0 run. Hunter on Hunter action here. Kendall over Donovan and comes up way short.
And with that press, TCU, you know, they're not trying to go for steals. They're not getting out in passing lanes and trapping, but they're just trying to get time off the clock.
Marta Suarez, the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, as Suarez is locked in tonight.
And that was in the same way as well as the same position that she hit the first one.
Another assist to Silva, by the way. That is her 3rd of the game. Hunter downhill. Picked by Olivia Miles. A clean strip, a 3-on-1, having trouble getting it out of her pocket, and knocked out last touched by Bigby.
Yeah, just couldn't get control of that. A little too crafty for her own good. We'll see right there, 2 feet in the paint is Silva, dropping the defense down, collapsing it, and leaves a wide open Marta Suarez. Yeah, just too crafty for her own good. Couldn't even get it to herself.
She's done that this year and completed it. Hunter going after the steal. Peguero able to regain it. 15 to shoot. Peguero trying to take advantage and race to the hole, but gets bounced back by Bigby.
And you'll see the team defense right there. You see that Donovan Hunter went for the steal, but her team covered up for her and forced Houston into a bad shot.
Houston only 1 of 7 from 3. Silva, Hunter, extra pass, out to Miles. Now Miles against the longer TK Pitts, and Pitts just has those long hands, long arms I should say, and quick hands. And off the deflection, big contact underneath. And Bigby took the wrong end of that, but it looks like she's going to be okay as Hunter will go to the line.
I don't see a lot of contact after the fact, yes, but you know, she had her hand straight up. I felt like Hunter is the one who initiated that contact into Bigby's chest.
And up top, it was a clean play, so yeah. I definitely see what you're saying.
But I think it's just there's been a little chippy, you know, here in the last couple of minutes on the defensive end for TCU.
Second foul on Bigby. Hunter 1 of 2 at the line, a 77% foul shooter, and she hasn't hit a field goal in this game. Kendall Hunter 0 for 6 from the floor. Olivia Miles tearing around the corner. Hunter, extra pass to Sheffy, who just came in, goes right to the rack, and on the reverse, she's fouled.
Sheffy is so good. I think she's such a dynamic player on TCU's team. They don't have another player really like what she does. She gets her head down, she attacks, she can hit the 3. She's a great free throw shooter. It's so dynamic for the Frogs.
Amira Abdurrahim whistled for her first. Hunter out for TCU, and Bielefeld on as Sheffy heads to the line where she's been so good this season, but comes up short here. Sheffy 89% at the line coming in, 77% for her career. Houston, getting a couple players in. Kira Merchant, who led the team with 6 points in the first half, as Hunter and Peguero both sit down.
And Merchant, you know, last time she came in, like you said, in the first half, really made things happen for the Cougars, and so expecting her to do the same now.
Hits around the screen, pick and roll to Ross. Nice little pocket pass, and Ross is fouled by Kennedy Basham.
And Basham got it with the body there. Just the angle of where Ross, you know, spun out of that pick and roll.
Jordan Ross, who's Got more and more playing time as the season's gone on after missing the first 5 games of the season, recovering from knee surgery. Started against Cincinnati, earning her 2nd straight start here. Ross, a 1-for-2 trip, but an extremely hard worker, and has earned some more time at the 5 spot for Matthew Mitchell. TCU really started to elongate this lead early in the 2nd quarter and has not looked back. Miles around that high screen, dumps it off to Suarez for 2.
And right before this, I was just looking at how many assists Miles had. She had 3 before that one. Again, you know she likes to get it to her teammates and rack them up.
Marta Suarez with 20 points, by the way. That's her 8th game of 20 or more this season. Before this year, she had 6 in her entire career. This by far a career season for Marta Suarez as King wiggles left and hits.
We talked about that. It's been a career year for Olivia Miles. But again, like you're saying, Marta Suarez as well. This style really fits both of their skill sets.
Basham in the post. Backdoor. Olivia Miles quickly at the hole. Abdur-Rahim brings it out. 3-on-2 if Houston hurries.
And Ross just getting position there on Basham.
Ross, contact underneath, reversal, and then coming back. TCU wants to quickly get up the floor. Miles, another pass into Sheffy, reversing it home with her offhand.
Kiera Mitchell had her eyes on Miles, and Sheffy saw that, went behind her in a beautiful play between the two.
It's so hard to play defense against TCU just with the way Olivia Miles can gobble you up with her eyes. She can take advantage of any kind of angle she sees.
Yeah, if you watch her eyes, then you're already lost.
Turnaround goes down for Merchant. She's up to 8 to lead Houston. Miles knows she can push. Continuation, can't hit the shot, but TK Pitts whistled for the foul, and Olivia Miles goes to the foul line on the other side. But Olivia Miles and Marta Suarez combining for 37 tonight. They're back to their old ways this evening. Welcome back into Fort Worth. Number 14 TCU leading Houston 58-32. TCU head baseball coach Kurt Sarlos in the house. First game coming up next Friday against Vanderbilt in Arlington at Globe Life Field. Coach Sarlos' team going to be highly ranked, top 10, top 15, depending on which poll you look at going into the new season. Certainly would love to be there at the end of the year. The College World Series, and has the type of team that could certainly do it. Meanwhile, this TCU team is one that made it to their own version of the Elite Eight. Olivia Miles would love to lead them there this season, and she hits both ends of 2 to give her 19 points before taking a rest.
TCU got back in the press. It's a different press right now. 1-3-1.
An opportunity to work on some things for TCU with a sizable lead. And Sheffy trying to go after the steal, never touched it. And it's out of bounds off of Houston, turning it over for the 12th time in the game.
And that's doing a good job for them. They average about 19.5 per game. You know, they're doing a better job of taking care of the ball, but it's when they do it, it's unforced turnovers.
How about Clara Bielefeld taking it to the rack? She's showing off some parts of her game that we have not seen on display, obviously growing through her freshman season.
And she got a lot of time early in the season, and I think that is to allow her to grow. You know, conference she hasn't got as much time, but again, she's been showing up well. I mean, she's a 6'4" guard, so just able to really rise above there on that left-hand side.
And you see the tools, though. Her ability to pass is next level for a 6'4" player. Her three-point shot starting to come around. You see her in practice. She's getting more rotation on that three-point shot. It's starting to look more like a shooter. And man, you got somebody who can just reach up there and finger roll at home. It bodes well for the future of TCU basketball.
It really does. And, you know, to be in a Power 5 program, top 15 team as a freshman, getting time, you know, really valuable time is helpful.
TCU, those downhill drives over and over and over again, getting to the rack. This time it's Hunter. TCU not a team that gets to the line that often, but this will be free throws number 12 and 13 of the night.
And I think that's good. Again, like you're saying, just really working on some things, making it a point to get downhill, get in the paint, get themselves to the free throw line.
Normally TCU a very heavy three-point shooting team, but it's been the points in the paint. And at the free throw line today, it's Donovan Hunter crashes her way up to 8. Be a 30-second timeout called by Houston in the first coach's call timeout of the second half. TCU takes a 30-point advantage with 3:14 left in the third quarter. Mark Campbell's team on their way to win number 39 in a row at home. Here on National Girls and Women in Sports Day, the TCU Women in Sports Network getting honored in the break. This is an awesome networking opportunity organization. They work on leadership development, professional growth as well for their members. And, you know, the old saying, Jada, goes, it's not what you know, it's who you know. And I think that goes for organizations like that. It can really help kickstart the careers of some of these women as they get into the sports workforce over the next few years.
Yeah, I think TCU does a really good job of putting students in positions early to learn, you know, on the job, and be able to just have opportunities that sometimes you don't always get. And so just really good job for them to have a network for women to learn and grow.
And maybe that's the first time some TCU students have ever heard about it. And they want to get involved. Little zone defense here. A little 2-3 for TCU. And Basham blocks the shot of Merchant, who gets it back. Late three-pointer lofted from the corner by Anumeli. Off the mark. Hunter attacks the rebound. TCU leads the rebounding count by 15.
And that's what Kennedy Basham is known for, just blocking shots there in the paint. About 1.5 per game.
Sheffy to the rack, and she is fouled. More free throws coming up for TCU.
Like you said, coming out of the break into a zone, and Merchant has been really effective in the paint, but she hasn't came up against Basham.
Yeah, Basham, best shot blocker per minute player on this TCU team, and one of the top returning shot blockers in the nation. Her second rejection of the game. Transfer from Arizona State. 0 for 2 trip for Sheffy, very rare. And knocked out, last touch by TCU.
Houston needs some production here. They do really well in that mid-range area, but with TCU showing this press, or I'm sorry, this zone, is making it difficult for them.
It's been difficult ever since the first quarter. 9 points here in the third. On the backside, Bartlett is alone, but Basham blocks her third shot of the game. And springs Bigby. Bigby crossing over to the rack with the left hand. Wipe off the shot for the second time. A bucket has been wiped off thanks to an offensive foul on Bigby as Andy Melly was in there to take the charge.
I'll have to see that one on the replay because it looked like Bigby was already up in the air when the Houston defender got into her position.
They get a chance to look at it here in a second. Baseline J by Bartlett is, or rather by Jay Jones is good. Jones coming off the bench for the last two. It started 13 of 14 before that.
And when they can get offensive production is what Houston needs.
And again, it comes from the mid-range as Basham is called for the offensive foul for the moving screen.
I think it's really close.
Yeah.
But when it is close like that, the benefit is given to the defender because, you know, they're defenseless. And so offensive foul called right there.
No, it wasn't a bad decision in any stretch by Taylor Bigby.
It looked wide open, like she had a wide open lane.
A pull up, a little flat, but it goes home for Kayla King. She really got it to crawl over the rim. She has 4 points all in this quarter. King, a San Antonio kid from Converse Judson, former Rocket. Stopping and starting is Miles. Wide pass for Bigby, but she tracks it down over the top on her three. Miles tracks down the rebound. Under a minute to play in the third quarter. TCU's led by as many as 30. Hunter bumped out front, whips it underneath. Silva to the cup, but misses over the top.
And I think Silva does a really good job of catching. That's growth from the beginning of the season. Now I need her to play off of 2 feet. She gets rushed a little bit when she makes those catches. But if she could take 1 second to see where she is, get herself under composure and go straight up, she would make a lot more of those layups.
Silva started really well in this game. She had 6 in the opening quarter. King pulls up for 3. Silva's rebound is her 6th. And TCU plays for the final shot of the third quarter. Olivia Miles has 19. Around the Suarez screen, playing downhill into the lane, scooping to the cup and just missing a chance at an and one. Olivia Miles able to dance to the hole whenever she wants.
She snakes screens better than anyone. You don't know where she's going or what she's doing. I thought she was going to pass it there to Suarez in the corner. But again, to the free throw line.
Olivia Miles, you know, wanted to play in a pro-style offense, and she's shown that she can use screens of every variety here in this season with TCU. She's got a game-high 21. It's her 10th game this season of 20 or more, and Olivia Miles helping to lead TCU to a 66-38 as well. The other Lauren Betts and Kiki Rice from UCLA.
And TCU overall is just having a really good day on the offensive end, shooting about 59% for the game.
When they don't score, they've been able to grab 7 of their 17 misses on the offensive end for a really nice offensive rebounding percentage. Suarez inside, collects herself, misses against a good defender in Pitts, and they'll stay right here with TCU. Suarez just trying to make sure she was under control before she shot that one. Another one inside to Suarez, same play, opposite side.
There you go, and Coach Campbell right after that, he said, Marta, keep going, keep going. You know, even though you miss those, continue to play. He doesn't get mad about a lot, but again, when your effort is high, you can't be bad. Yeah,
60% shooting for Marta Suarez, 3 of 4 from outside the arc, 22 points. TK Pitts. Only 3 points in this one. Pitts leans in but can't hit over the size of Silva. Hunter up to Bigby, who got another start today in place of Maddie Shear, not playing with back injury. Suarez Trying to get downhill against Pitts, but again, Pitts dislodges it. Credit her for that steal. Even though Enyemeli brought it out, it's TK Pitts that was the one that made it all happen.
Yeah, she's really the head of the snake on the defense, very defensive-minded. Brings scoring to about 9 points per game.
Yeah, definitely having her best scoring season of her career. Gotten to the line a lot the second half of the season. Not today, however. Pull up from the logo, Merchant off the mark. And here comes Suarez. She's just a rebound shy now of another double-double. Save back in bounds to Bigby. Suarez, deep three. Just off the front rim. Testing the range. Merchant behind the defense. Lays it home.
And just able to really get out in offense or in transition offense. That's where they're their best. But again, if there's not much opportunity, I'm glad they're able to take advantage of the ones that they do have.
Good decision to get it down to Silva. The step back doesn't fall, and on the rebound, Miles is called for the box out foul as she was fighting for that rebound with Kira Merchant. Even though Miles has another 15-5-5 game tonight.
And Merchant, she attacks the glass. She averages about 5 rebounds per game. See, they just got intertwined with Miles.
Second on Olivia. She's not so sure what she did. Nothing obvious on the replay.
You know, sometimes it's contact and bodies on the floor. They had to call something.
Nice crossover by Enyemeli, but a little out of control. Miles between the legs, crossover, sinks the defense, kicks it out to Hunter. That is vintage TCU basketball as Hunter nails the triple.
Vintage is right. Hunter shoots about 30. She came into the game shooting at 36% from the three, gets a steal here.
Now Dono takes it away, goes over the top of Pitts and lays it in. It's a Donovan Hunter handful of points in about 10 seconds of action.
And just so happy for her success. Again, a Swiss Army knife is what Coach Campbell calls her. She does so much for this Horned Frogs team, and this year has been adding scoring to that list.
Another miss for Houston, and TCU continues to grow the advantage. Olivia Miles rocking the baby, crossing it over in short space. Gets it out to Suarez. Sees Silva wide open underneath, and she earns foul shots. Merchant had no choice.
Marta's hit a couple.
Run.
Yeah, Marta's hit a couple from there, but it's been Hunter here in the fourth that's really showed up for TCU, hitting the three, then getting the transition bucket off the steal. 13 points today.
Yeah, and she's done it in spurts. She had that little 5-point burst in the second quarter, and now another 5-point burst here in the fourth.
And shooting 100% from the field.
Can't do much better than that. 1-for-2 trip for Silva, who's on the board for the first time in the second half. As TCU has a 6-0 run in the last minute of work. Abdur Rahim back in to play the 4 spot. So TCU holding another team down near 30%. And wipe off that basket. It'll be an offensive foul for that clear out screen by Ross to give TK Pitts a little bit of room.
Yeah, you'll see she just stepped into Marta Suarez there. Hard contact.
For Houston, turnover number 14. A team that averages about 19 a game. Is anybody going to stop Olivia Miles tonight?
Nope, and she got another two.
Olivia Miles. She deserves to have that big grin on her face after those back-to-back buckets. The shot clock didn't even have time to reset.
Like, downhill, nobody stopping her. Again, so crafty, taking it off the freshman, getting 2 more points.
It's a no-look steal. We're used to the no-look passes.
Yeah.
And Miles up to 25 points now. A rained-in three by Amira Abdur-Rahim.
That's her second three of the night.
Of course, comes from that great basketball family. Nice take to the cup by Talia Parker, who just came in for TCU. Parker, the Texas A&M transfer, on the board for the first time in a while in conference play.
And taking it against her old teammate in Rahim. For teammates there at Texas A&M.
Another one, Abdur-Rahim. She was feeling it. This time off to the left. Meanwhile, Marta Suarez has accomplished another double-double. And I've got it as her 7th of the season. We'll double-check that. We'll double-check that, if you will.
Had one last game against Texas Tech, even though it was a loss. Again, like you're saying, just getting back to her scoring ways.
And it's a monster double-double, too. We can confirm 24 points, 10 rebounds. Yeah, it's just been a game where TCU has worn on their outmatched opponent. And for Houston, they knew coming in they had to play pretty perfect to have a chance. But instead, they've run into a determined Horned Frogs team trying to bounce back off after a rare loss, and they are in rare form. Welcome back into Fort Worth. John Little back alongside Jada Curtis and the entire crew. Little game summary for you. Marta Suarez right at the center of it with her 7th double-double of the season. 24 points and 10 rebounds. Olivia Miles with a monster outing of 25 points, 6 assists and 5 rebounds, plus 4 steals and maybe a little bit of a jam finger. And on the other side for Houston, Kira Merchant trying to keep her Cougars in it, but just a little too much TCU from the jump, outscoring Houston in the paint 50-18.
Yeah, Merchant's the only one who's really been getting it done for the Cougars. She's needing some more production from her teammates on the offensive end and just hasn't found that today.
Houston will have another shot at TCU coming up in less than 2 weeks. A step in. Kiss off the glass by Kayla King, who has 6 points. They're all in the second half. As TCU goes to Houston 2 weeks from tonight. Another game on ESPN+. Knocked right back at Parker. Leaps through the lane. Got another teammate in there, Natalie Mazurek, wearing number 14. She's a pick and pop 5. Hunter skips it across. Bielefeld drives in. Bielefeld at the front of the rim. A little contact with no call.
Again, like you said, but I like her attacking and just using her length to try to get up over the defender.
Coming up next for Houston, they will get back after it against Texas Tech. Lean-in shot by Donovan Hunter. Out on the break yet again. She's up to 15.
And she's been getting a lot of those high ball turnovers and getting out in transition, finishing on her one-on-one matchup.
She and Olivia Miles co-leading the team with 4 steals tonight. Catch and shoot 3, Peguero comes up short. Rebound tapped out to Bielefeld. As the twos get some work for the most part for TCU. The only starter in there is Hunter right now to run the point. Bielefeld back to Mazurek, sets it up for 3. And the rebound kicked out to the corner. TCU always charts their shots in practice, and Mazurek is one of their better three-point shooters, probably one of the 3 best shooters on the team, as Peguero on the twist toward the cup is fouled on her pirouette to the glass.
Yeah, it doesn't get a lot of run in the games, but like you're saying, charting in practice, she really is able to knock those down, and you know every time she comes in, that's exactly what she's looking for.
Brianna Peguero playing her 91st career game, approaching 900 career points. Doing so over 3 seasons of D1 basketball. For TCU, blowouts have not been rare at home, but they're much more rare in conference play. What do you think it does for some of these players like a Parker especially to get in during a conference game, not just a non-conference action?
I mean, you get firsthand experience about what we're talking about as far as what the Big 12 is. You know, you can talk all about the games and you can sit and watch them, but until you're out there and you feel how physical it is, how difficult it is, you know, you really don't know.
Parker nearly rolling down a 3. It just slipped in and out on her.
And she's known as a driver, so if that one would have went down, the whole arena would have erupted.
Would have been her first 3 of the season as Bielefeld is fouled. That is on Amani Bartlett. The 3rd foul on Bartlett. And for TCU, they bring in Emily Hunter for the first time. The freshman from Nolensville, Tennessee.
And again, it's just another 6'7" post player. You take Silva out, you bring Basham in, you take Basham out. Now you've got Hunter in. TCU really just, and Mark Campbell really just wanted to get some size and some depth on this team like we talked about earlier.
Definitely have that in spades, and some developmental players on the roster like Hunter, and then another player from Australia who's the tallest player, Sarah Portlock, on the team at 6'8.5", who is redshirting this season. There she is. The only roster in women's college basketball with 4 players, 6'7" or taller.
I don't know where he finds them. I would have loved to have a 6'7" on my team back in the day.
Oh, I know.
They're eating their Wheaties.
Incredibly rare. Pull-up bounces out for Kayla King. Good-looking shot from the elbow as she was able to get to her spot. Obviously a player that over the course of her career will be able to fill it up. Ball knocked out by Natalie Mazurek for TCU. For TCU, next time out, they go to Colorado. That will be on Super Bowl Sunday. You can watch that one on ESPN Plus before kickoff between Seattle and New England. And then it's a road game in Waco a week from tomorrow against number 15 Baylor. Bielefeld, Mazurek, 3-ball, off the mark, but Bielefeld has the offensive rebound. Bielefeld whips it out. Parker gets another chance. This time it's splashed down for Talia Parker, her first 3 of the season.
And I know she's been working really hard on her shot, you know, really developing her game and expanding that, because TCU is known for a 3-point shot. You try to get those players to be able to add that to their game.
And she's only a sophomore. And definitely one of the most athletic players that Mark Campbell has ever coached. And so as Mazurek blocks the shot, and that gets the TCU bench just absolutely up in arms. Sheffy, no. Parker, yes!
And that's just team basketball right there. Just picking it up where your teammate left it.
I don't think I've ever seen Olivia Miles happier than when Natalie Mazurek rejected a shot. And it's going to be a feel-good outing for TCU after a tough loss at Texas Tech. Kind of a head-scratcher last time out.
And I think that's what you want. You want to come in and respond well, you know, especially when you have the opportunity at home. They're few and far between, and every game matters.
The TCU Horned Frogs lead nearly wire to wire behind a 24-point outing from Marta Suarez and 25 from Olivia Miles. The Horned Frogs get it done. 90-45 the final score.